It's the 910 Sports Podcast.
Here we go.
Where we interview the best athletes from all over the world.
Ready?
From junior high to professional, while discussing the latest in sports. With host Icon E, Mr. Personality, Jacob the Great, and Mr. Georgia, Everything Steve-O.
What's going on? It's your boy Icon E. We here on 910 Sports. First episode of the year. I want to thank God for this first episode of the year. We took a couple of weeks off, because of the holidays and everything. But we back moving and grooving. First of the year, doing our thing. You know what I'm saying? I want to introduce, man, everybody, my man, Ace Boom Coon, little brother. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Georgia. Everything, Mr. Georgia. You know what I'm saying? Steve-O, what's in the building?
What's going on, Icon? What's going on, man? Like you said, first show of the year, man. Just want to praise God, give honor to God for allowing us to be here today and to do this, do what we love to do, man. So I appreciate you, appreciate God, and everything else we got going on and what we about to do in 2023. So I'm excited.
Yes, sir. Yeah, because the crazy part was, I know you're talking about the adjustment of the intro, and I couldn't get back in touch because
It's all good.
Went through that fever thing or fiber, whatever, however you pronounce it, whatever. But I'm gonna still make some adjustments to the intro, but I want to put something together, something different, because I know we were going to a new era, new whatever. So, but definitely I want to put something else together for that. It's been a lot going on this week in sports, man. A lot going on. First and foremost, I want to just, thank God for the healing for that young brother, DeMar Hamlin. I was watching it live when it happened last week, and as soon as it happened, I knew it wasn't the normal situation. You know what I'm saying? Just by me, because normally when you see a concussion hit or whatever, you see the guy kind of get up and wobble a little bit or look, gazy eyes, and he kind of walking off or whatever. Even a lot of times they even try to run back to the huddle, try to plan it off or whatever. You know what I mean? And in this situation, when the guy got up and he just fell straight back down, I said, "Oh, so that's something different." You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. So I'm just glad that he's, because it ain't gonna lie, it shook me up, man. I was shook up by that thing. You know what I'm saying? To see like that, because I was like, I know in my lifetime, I've never seen anybody have to get CPR on a football field. I knew that, and then when they kind of verified it after the game and throughout the whole broadcast, I said, I know I've never seen that before. So I was trying to, rack my brain, like, have I ever seen that before?
Nah, not on the football field. Not on TV like that.
Yeah, the closest thing I could ever think to see something that horrific in a game was Hank Gathers. I know you maybe before your time.
Yeah, no doubt.
Hank Gathers was a basketball player. He played for Laurel Marymount back in the 90s. And that was the last time I remember seeing something like that and whatever. But what's going on, my man? How you doing?
Oh, how you doing? Doing good myself. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Jacob, he might be coming around. He feeling under the weather this morning, so we might have to kind of do this interview without him. So, but we're not gonna stop the show. We're gonna keep this thing moving, or whatever the case may be. So basically, you came from you played college football.
Yes, sir.
You're a coach and a recruiter now, and it seems like just what we see in your bio and stuff, you maybe at some point trying to get back to your playing days. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so just go take us back to childhood. When, as a child, what age was it when you started playing like football and being like serious about it as a child?
I mean, honestly, the child growing up, back in elementary days, we used to play football before school. Went to classmates for school, after school, Kick Elementary School, back in Harvey, Illinois. So we used to play football before school, and the passion for football was always there. So sixth grade year, I went to this private school in Chicago Heights and got the opportunity to play organized football. And back at that time, I was a little husky at the time, so I played like offensive lineman, defensive lineman at the time. And I was very good. After that aspect, I didn't play again until freshman year high school. And freshman year high school, my passion for receiver was always there. I was good catching the ball. And who I looked up to in the league was Terrell Owens at the time. I looked up to him, man. He was an amazing player in that aspect. And my game just followed him in that aspect. So my freshman year of high school, I got opportunity. I played O-lineman game, so crazy. One of my coaches, Coach Lovey, gave me opportunity one game to play receiver. I scored my first touchdown in my career in high school, my freshman year. Then after that, I started playing receiver. And also during my freshman year, I played basketball too, my 4 years of high school too also. So like kind of correlated that aspect. So my sophomore year, the first like 4 games, I played O-lineman. One of our sophomore coaches had an episode during halftime. And after that, he ain't coming for the rest of the season. So my freshman coach came our sophomore coach, and he put me at a receiver. Then ever since then, I just did my thing at receiver. Varsity coach noticed my aspect and just took off in that aspect during high school in that aspect. So it just took off from there, from high school, going in with basketball also.
Okay. So you grew up in the Chicago area?
Yes, I lived majority of my lifestyle in Harvey, Illinois, around my house.
Okay, so did you grow up in the suburbs, or you grew up like in a in in the hood, or where did you kind of like what area of Chicago or those areas did you grow up in?
So Harvey, Illinois, it's like the outskirts of the south side of Chicago. Harvey, Illinois.
Okay, so basically where you was at, you would were you kind of away from all like the crime and the gang stuff and all of that?
Honestly, no. Harvey, Illinois is like one of the top like top bad cities, honestly. You want to be real, because like from Harvey, Illinois, you could really walk to like the south side, honestly. You go walk there. So it's just growing up, it's like you have to be your P's and Q's in that aspect, you know. And back in the day, like it's more wild now because like back there was more structure. You had the OGs back then, and you had issues back then. Like we fist fought, knuckle to knuckle back in the day. So OGs, like you play sports back in the day, like nah, you play sports, y'all just fight it out, just gonna move on with your day. It was structure. OGs ain't let us get out of control. And nowadays, just like ain't no code, just like ain't no respect. You just do what you want to do. Like who is you? That aspect. So
So in other words, were you one of those kids that they seen a future in? So in other words, they protected you and kept you from being out there and getting in trouble with the rest of the kids.
yes, sir.
Okay. So Steve, I'm gonna let you ask a few questions and then we're gonna let Jacob jump in.
Hey, brother, thank you. I appreciate that. Hey, man, how you doing this morning?
Good, but yourself.
I'm doing pretty good. My wife grew up outside of Chicago in Peoria. I don't know how close or relevant that is to the location you gave, but I know in the suburbs of Illinois, there's some good football play. A lot of people don't realize that. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't realize a lot of good sports, a lot of good athletes come out of that area. Have you ever had a desire to either play for Illinois or stay at home to play, or were you always trying to, go outside that area to play football?
The biggest thing, stay in state. That was the biggest thing. Honestly, that's what my mom wanted me to do. You know, she wanted me to stay in state in that aspect, stay close in that aspect. After high school. But, God take different directions in life sometimes. Many times, some things we want to do, but God will take somewhere else. So I end up, I tried to go to Page. And some things happened, and I couldn't go to Page at the time. It was a blessing. I ended up going to school in California. I went to first 2 years of junior college, California. I think that's one of the best things happened in my life, going to school away in that aspect. I feel like I'm mature as a man and getting away from the environment I grew up in that aspect.
Yeah, I agree. It helps you grow and mature when you get outside your comfort zone. So yeah, I agree 1,000%. It do seem like it was a blessing that you got to go out to Cali. Then talk about your JUCO experience. Talk about how the JUCO football compared to what maybe you thought it would be compared to when you got there.
Man, honestly, everybody went junior college play JUCO for football or basketball. You understand? It's a different lifestyle. It's either you go hard or you go home. Either you get lost in the sauce or you don't. In that aspect, going to junior college, playing junior college football. I played junior college football and basketball, but the lifestyle is different because you meet people all across the world, all across the country. In that aspect, and you going across the country away from your family, and like you in an apartment with 4 or 5 people in a 2-bedroom. in that aspect. So like me come from Chicago to California, you know, for Chicago in that aspect, you go to California, you watch an MTV career as a kid, you see palm trees in that aspect. So I'm like, bruh, this real life. But going out there and competing with people from Florida, Georgia, Texas, in that aspect, they grind different. You know, because it's hot all year round for them. So just going around there, having roommates with Florida, and the grind was different. It was every day. Every day you grind because you compete for a spot every day. So my grind went to a whole nother level. I'm waking up, going to class, got practice. After practice, I got practice again because I'm in the weight room, I'm in the field again, doing a lot of drills, doing more stuff to perfect my game to compete for a spot, earn a spot. So I feel like maybe a better competitive aspect going JUCO.
Cool, man. You a Bears fan?
Oh yes, sir.
Oh. What do you think about Justin Fields? I'm gonna let Jacob take over in a few seconds. I just want to pick your brain on what's currently going on in the NFL. What you think about Justin Fields?
He's a great quarterback. We see all the quarterbacks we have doing a year. He got outside of pocket. I feel the biggest thing with Justin Fields is just like giving him some help at the receiver core. That's the biggest thing because a lot of people see him as a running quarterback at the time and believe he can't throw. I believe he got time. He could throw. He can read defenses, but it's hard when you can't got nobody to throw it to. Rely on that aspect. I feel he got like two receivers. We got Chase came in. We got Monty could come in to catch the ball, but the O-line ain't holding up too hard for him. So at the beginning of the season, you seen like he dropped back trying to make some passes. He ain't got no time. So now it can't time this season. He like, no, skip that. I'm gonna get out the jail. So
I think you'll be all right. I enjoy it. I think you'll be all right compared to all like the rest of the Ohio State quarterbacks. I know they got a bad stigma on them. I think you'll be all right. Yeah, I got to get him some help though. Y'all got to get him some help.
Most definitely.
Jacob, what's going on, my man? Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing,
brother?
Battling this cold, man. What's going on with y'all?
Good, man. Here living the life on this side of the dirt. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right. I can dig it. Mr. Archer, what's going on with you? How you doing?
What's up, boss, man? I'm all good. Blessed. Can't complain too much with yourself.
Good, man. So, man, every time I call you, man, you in the gym.
Man, always.
So, man, let's talk about your like how well you understand this written condition and how well people who are in athletics should understand it, and you know why they should own that Smith condition and how it can help them get to the next level.
Biggest thing I say with shift conditioning come on all aspects with stretching. Stretching is so important because stretching it helps. If you don't stretch as a football player, you restrict your mobility in football, basketball, any sport you play in that aspect. Because the more you stretch, the more movements you make, you go relieve yourself of certain injuries. And like a lot of football players in that aspect, they're not as flexible. And sometimes you're in a football field, you be in awkward positions in a football field, and you don't stretch it. Sometimes it comes to a point where you can tear something in that aspect. And another thing I say is eating right. Like some people got the fortune they can eat wrong and get through time, get to the top. A lot of people can't. Eat trash, stuff like that. You see LeBron James, how he take care of his body, been in the league so long because he eat the right food. And I feel like we have choices. You want to play at the top. So I feel like I always get told my body's like a car. You gotta get an oil change. The oil change is the key to your car, key to your engine. The oil change. And I feel like it's the same thing. I put food in my body. If you want to play like a Ferrari, you can't feed your body like a small little beater. As I always say. So, and lifting weights, you always want to keep your body maintained to stay strong. Because if you playing football, I'm on a football field, I'm getting contact. If I don't work out, like my body get more fragile. But me working out is not going to the gym to stand, just going to a weight room and just like lifting heavy weights. It's lifting a certain body weight to keep the foundation solid in the weight room. And my body's solid for the football field. So I go absorb hits. It won't tear my body down as fast, but I didn't lift weights. Now aspect.
I can dig it. So man, the wide out is a great position when it comes to, you know, any aspect of football. And so when did you understand that you was a predominant wide receiver, that this is a position that you always gonna own? And how did you get to the next level at being a wide out?
Honestly, as a kid, I feel like I had the passion for a receiver. As a kid, I was saying before I had passion for. I always had hands. I was good catching ball at the highest point. I looked at Terrell Owens as a kid growing up, but it took levels to it. In high school, I feel like I played bag, so I was just always strong. So I was always good to fade ball, to slant the post, in that aspect. But through college, I feel like JUCO, I started getting a little. I understood the receiver spot more. I always been quick. I always had hands, but the biggest thing for me at JUCO was speed. So throughout time, I understand. I started working on quickness, so working on speed. Then after I got to Trinity, my last year, Trinity, my senior year at Trinity, I met a coach, became my mentor, met Coach Allen. So throughout that season, and we brought an OC in, that Coach Buddy, and he broke it down to different aspects, different route options for receiver. So I understand the game a little better. My other coach, receiver coach Al, he broke stuff to me. I spoke things down to me in that aspect. A receiver just understand the different aspect of how to run this route, different coverage. I understand how to do this, so it made me into a better player. So my senior year, I understand the defenses, the DBs came into that aspect. It's enhanced my game. So it came to that aspect. Games came along, I started killing stuff. After each game, defensive corners came to me after the game, was like, man, you talented, you can play next level. I'm gonna see you next level. So everything just kind of like the game started slow down that aspect. Just understand the different tendencies of defenses and DBs and stuff like that. So it came like that.
Okay, okay. And so, upon you leaving JUCO and going to another school, man, what was the hardest part of that transformation?
Honestly, the biggest thing, it came to, like, be honest, it came to transcripts, my aspect. Um, you need transferable credits. And honestly, come out of JUCO, I'm real with you. I didn't know nothing about that. I was coming from Chicago to Aspen, going to California, JUCO. My aspect, I thought I need like 60 units. But going to my sophomore year, like the biggest things go D1, had D1 schools interested in me coming to Aspen, stuff like that. It came to a point like, and you need 60 transferable credits. And one of my coaches was my counselor. So it came to a point of just like putting us in classes and that aspect and just the play. So I learned that aspect, and it was just like, it was crazy in that aspect. So, but leaving JUCO and going somewhere else to play ball, I feel like it was easier because JUCO was like a different type of ball game. You survive in JUCO, I feel you can play anywhere. A lot of people in NFL came from JUCO. You survive JUCO, you play anywhere. So the transition, it wasn't hard at all.
Okay, 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 okay. Upon you going to, upon you leaving JUCO, going to the next school, man, what were some challenges for you when you transferred? Were there any challenges for you on the field and off the field, or how was it? How was it for you? Cause it's challenges like when you go to the next level. So, what type of challenges did you face?
Man, it's crazy. I felt so after JUCO, man. That's where life really hit. JUCO, going to school in California, it was just like, everybody riding the wave. Everything's good. When you high, you doing good. Everything's good. Everybody ride your wave. So after JUCO, I found out I couldn't go D1, D2, NCAA. I had to go NAIA. I mean, honestly, I was at NAIA. I quit football for a little bit. In that aspect, I was one, okay, like NAIA, like, man, I ain't playing that. Like one of my close friends, like, man, you gotta keep playing, Cause I see my teammates going to NCAA D1, D2, and I'm going NAIA. I know everybody tell, like, man, you get up to play that, but it came to the transcript aspect. So what happened was, so I ended up signing school playing Kansas. So I ended up coming back to the crib, my mom crib. I'm chilling. I'm laying down. I'm fucking play ball. I leave a couple of weeks. I'm asleep. I get called from my coach, like, hey, Devanta, got some news to tell you. Like, the class we took, the math class we took to be eligible to play this year, he was like, in the NAIA Clubhouse, they don't set the same class twice. So I can't ain't eligible. I got stuck in Chicago. I'm asleep. I woke up to a call like that, and I'm stuck in Chicago. I'm going to be gone next week. So now it's a life really hit. Like, I'm stuck in Chicago, and my financial aid got messed up. Financial aid told me, like, I get $500 for the whole year financial aid. $500. You can't do $500 from financial aid for a whole year. You can't do no $500. So like, I got stuck in Chicago. That's stuff in rock bottom for me. It's like I had no money at the time. I couldn't buy myself a piece of gum at the time. So that's the time, like, I went from here, you the man, to all to the dirt. Like, same people supporting me. I'm calling, what's up? I'm in crickets. So that's the time in my life, like, man, just like my relationship with God got stronger. It's just I was laying at night just thinking. I couldn't buy a piece of gum. So it came to time just like I'm posting on Facebook, like, man, like I got a job. What about school? It was just crazy after that. So after that, I ended up taking one. I paid for one class, Perry State, that class to be eligible for the NAC House. Then after that, I went to school in Kansas. I went to Sterling College in Kansas. I ain't like that aspect of school. It was like a lot of things. I ain't like that. So I ended up leaving. Went back to Cali from February all the way to June. I came back home. I started training again. I gained weight. I got like 240. 240. That's the biggest I've been in my life. 240. I ain't doing for 2 months. I ain't doing nothing else out there. Came back home. I'm grinding. Into science school. Belleville University. It's like close to East St. Louis. Onto that university. I went there, and that program at the time was terrible. Coaches, everybody was terrible. And players were doing on strike, everything. So I ended up leaving that school. Leaving that school, came back home again. I work another job. Everybody telling me about football and stuff like that. Now, this year come up, I ain't playing 2 years now. That's 2015, playing 2 years in this aspect. So after that, I'm training. I'm working at Food for Last. I'm training. I'm at sports. You know what, man? I still have to pass for the game. I still could do this. So I went to one more school, went to Trinity National, Chicago, Illinois. I went this like my last chance. That aspect. I pull up to that school at 2:30. 2:30. I'm talking. I'm slow. I'm telling you, I was so slow. I had hands though. I put to school. I ran a route. Hey, you look at me. I test that. He the truth. Man, I started running routes. Man, you could have fell asleep, woke up, and still caught me on the route so slow. So slow was the time. But my one thing about me, my determination, it was so crazy. So I know grind that spring got faster. I'm getting better and better aspect. Go to my senior year, I went to California, train, pick my senior year, and I balled out in that aspect. And a lot of people ain't see me play. I ain't played 3 seasons. I ain't played 3 seasons in my senior year. And my first game my senior year, I went for 9 catches for 181 yards. And people was like, whoa, who was that? In my first game, we down to Chicago Bears, like practice facility. The first game, Alex Brown to the game. And he was like, who's number 88? He said, next to my brother. He's like, that's my brother. So ever since then, I caught like people's eyes after my first game. After that, it just went like crazy after that in that aspect.
Okay. Like you, Akon.
Wow. So one thing I gotta do, I gotta commend you because a lot of kids would have gave up, especially after that missing 2 years. They would have just, got their degree and moved on or whatever. But you stuck with it. You had that dream to continue to play and get to that next level. So I definitely got to salute you for that. So basically, at post career, okay. So you got invited to Chicago Bears camp. How did that experience go for you? How was that experience? If nothing else, what did you learn from that experience?
Man, that experience was dope. Come from a small school, my senior year, we was trash. I'm gonna be 100 with you, we was trash. We didn't win a game my senior year. We won one game, but they said some of our players was eligible. So how that our first game, I went crazy, and our quarterback threw for like he broke a record. He threw for like over 800 yards that game. So we geek, and they talking about some. They talking about one I put on eligible players, 2 I put on eligible players. They took that win for us. So it's like I hurt. So technically we didn't win a game for the whole season. So I had pro day at Northwestern. Then after that, I got an email from the Bears. Brought me in for a workout aspect. And go back to my pro day for Northwestern, that aspect was dope. Like walking across, do a whole pro day for a 32 NFL scout was amazing for a small school. Then get brought in for the Bears and talk to the Bears coaches in that aspect. It was an amazing experience. It's like, because that's like a 0.2% of people get the opportunity, And come from my background, how far I came with football, sitting out 2 or 3 years, and come from a small school and get an opportunity was a blessing, It's just like, it's hard. It's just a blessing. It's just like still wild to this day. Like, man, I got the opportunity,
Okay, so how did you get into like the coaching and the recruiting part of things?
On that aspect, as it was been passed because I was my own self recruiter. So I used to email coaches myself. So I used to set up emails and send it to schools at the high school. One of my basketball coaches actually helped me and taught me the way I do this. After that, I kind of like email coaches myself. I became my own agent at the time. So at the high school, at the college, that aspect, I had a friend like my brother in that aspect. And he already been doing college, helping like our fellow like classmates, teammates, and friends, for the next level, setting up stuff. And he prepared to be an agent himself. Honestly, he been an agent for a lot of people. So like it came to I always been teaching kids, coaching kids that aspect, like training them on the side, and that stuff, that aspect. So about like last year and a half ago, my friend Ben started a business called JD Chase Academy that I ended up coming along with him. So in that aspect, he been helping a lot of kids, college recruiting, kids like that to get into school. And last year, 2022, our class, everybody got an offer in that aspect, 100% rate in that aspect, and helping like professional athletes in that aspect. We do like 5 different sports. We do rugby, do overseas basketball, we do overseas football, we do WWE wrestling, and we do UFC in that aspect. So y'all just came along as I still train. So it just basically I just correlate with each other.
Okay. So what ages do you like coach?
Basically do football, basketball, mostly like basketball.
No, I said what ages? What ages?
All ages.
Oh, okay. So, as far as the recruiting part of it, and things that you've been through, when you go talk to a kid or their family, their parents, or whatever, what's your approach? You
My
know,
journey, my journey is touching me. People look at me now. You look at me now. You be like, man, you fast, you quick. I was a chubby kid back in the day. I used to play old lineman. They like, what? Yeah, I was a chubby kid. So my journey is my first approach and my passion when I talk to young kids because that used to be me. I used to be a kid. I used to tell people, my coaches sometimes tell my coaches like, I want to be this when I grow up. They used to laugh at me. So when I see young kids and I see the potential and I aspect a lot of kids, like I put that same passion as I put to my sports to kids. I tell my story, and as you train kids, and kids can feel that passion, can feel that for somebody talking to them. You as kids can feel fake and truth. To be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, my journey is my story to kids, and every rep I do with each kid, I just tell them each rep like you got potential to do this, but it's up to you.
Yeah. Okay. Steve, you got any more questions?
Yeah, I do. Have you ever considered going to? I know everybody's aspirations are the NFL. Have you ever considered maybe semi-pro arena football, anything along that nature, or were you just strictly like, nah, man, I know where I want to go. I know what I want to do. If I can't do NFL, I'd rather do recruiting or coaching.
Honestly, so crazy. I played arena football. I played for
Okay.
yeah, I played arena. Biggest thing coming out college, the aspect you gonna get film, consecutive film. I played arena football. Arena film, it was cool, but honestly, like getting hit across that wall it was crazy. Getting hit across that wall.
I couldn't even imagine playing football with a ball.
I'm a big guy, so getting hit across the wall was crazy. They stayed throwing me fade balls, and that field 50 yards is small, so I'm catching balls. Other side of that wall is concrete.
Ooh.
So you jumping, you catch the ball over the wall, you fall on your head. I'm like, ooh. I start catching injuries in my foot, my leg. So the biggest thing about me is like I'm never too big for opportunity. Wherever I had to take, I'm gonna take. So I did arena football, and that aspect, it was cool. So now after that, I went to play spring league. It was like basically you pay opportunity, play a lot of like NFL free agent aspect, like from a lot of coaches. I did that, killed that. It's like, man, it wasn't enough. So after that, I ended up playing. I played in Mexico, played football.
Oh wow!
I played in Mexico. I played in Cabo. That's
Were
crazy.
you playing for a team out there, a Mexican team, or was you just a part of the group? Was that y'all just had to go out there?
It was a team. It was a team out there in Mexico. And it's crazy. You think about Mexico, you think about soccer. So
yeah, exactly.
They had a team out there, and like basically had like 11 players for each team. 11 Americans could transport for America for each team. So it was a good experience, but like it comes to an aspect where like now my career just like it's at the top. It's at the top of nothing at my time career. And now like I'm building more clientele, training more kids in aspects. Like now it's at the top of never. Because I know for a fact play at the top. That's what I know for a fact play at the top. Like I have connections and opportunities coming up for the top, for opportunity. So it comes to me, it's just like the opportunity gonna come. It's just like either gonna be ready or not. Either you gonna take advantage of opportunity or you just gonna you gotta luck. Move on with life. That's how I take it as. So
All right, and you said wide receivers. That was your spot. You played offensive lineman. You were young because of size, of course. But what? All right, so give me your Mount Rushmore, your top 4 wide receivers all time. I know T.O. already won.
Yeah.
Say T.O. your boy.
Yeah.
And who else you got?
So I got T.O. I got Randy Moss. I got Calvin Johnson. And I got the last one. That's tough.
You said Megatron?
Yeah, Megatron.
Now, would I be wrong? Because I don't believe he should be in the Hall of Fame.
He's a dog. I feel like he could play longer.
Exactly. We just didn't get a big enough sample to put him in the Hall
He
of
can
Fame,
play
in
longer.
my
For sure.
opinion.
For sure. The last
one more spot. One more spot.
That's tough.
You got Jerry Rice still out there. Let me see who else you got out there.
You got Michael Irvin.
Mike Irvin.
Michael Irvin, yeah. What you mean? What you mean? What you mean?
Tough. Ready,
hey, Steve, don't do that, bro. Steve, don't do that.
I ain't gonna do it. We gotta guess. We gotta guess this morning. I ain't gonna do that. We gotta guess this morning. I ain't gonna act up. Go ahead.
Wow.
Tough.
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know Michael Irvin top 5. Huh?
That's tough. The last one, I say.
Oh, we're gonna talk about this later.
Man, that's tough.
It is tough, man. You ain't got but one. We ain't got but one more spot there. It is tough. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's tough.
I won't think too much on it.
Take your time.
Man, it's tough because you got Larry Fitzgerald here, a dog. Larry Fitzgerald, dog. You know.
You said who?
Larry Fitz. I would say Larry Fitz over 88.
Oh man.
Who y'all thinking? I give y'all that. So
I'm just floored that you ain't even named Jerry Rice as number one. Like I'm really floored.
Yeah, more people start with Jerry Rice. That's what more people start.
Yeah, you probably the first person I've ever heard never say Jerry Rice. Like
yeah.
At least in the top 4. He may not be the GOAT to everybody, but he at least in top 4. Cause mine is Jerry Rice, Michael Irvin,
Randy Moss, Randy Moss.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like I'm a little biased, but
you got to have T.O. Who else are you gonna put beside T.O.?
That's what I'm saying. Like Jerry Rice up to you. Jerry Rice.
I ain't got Randy Moss on my top 5.
It's like
I don't.
I like
you ain't got Randy Moss?
Huh?
Nah.
He said he ain't got Randy Moss in his top 5.
I don't. Wow. I don't. Remember, I watch football when football was football. It ain't football no more, bro.
I don't know. I don't necessarily. I mean, like I said, that's a tricky one for me. But I don't necessarily think T.O. is. I don't know. I don't necessarily think T.O. top 4. I don't know.
You like. You know
I
what?
like T.O., but T.O. I do agree with some people sometimes to a certain degree with T.O. T.O. caused a lot of issues in locker rooms. So like,
and he lead all stats behind Jerry Rice.
He got stats, but still he wasn't a winning. He didn't bring a winning culture to nobody. He was a cancer. He was toxic to every team.
He's not no cancer. Every time a black person got an opinion, they're a cancer. Stop, man.
I mean, man, what you mean? I mean, put it like this. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, but I don't think
if Peyton Manning and Brett Favre did the same that T.O. do, they just had some issues. Just stop, man. Stop. We ain't doing stop, man. We ain't doing that.
They ain't got nothing to do with no.
Stop. That man ain't no cancer. That man was passionate about the game, and he gonna stand on his principles, and that's the bottom line.
That's wrong with that sometimes. That's what's wrong with us. Sometimes we stand on principles and get us in trouble.
As soon as we do it,
like these street principles, same thing. Everybody wants to stand on principles.
As soon as we do it, Icon, why we gotta be?
Principles don't make you right.
Hey, Icon. As soon as we do it, why you gotta be like mush mouth on fire up? Baby. You know what I mean?
Hey man, listen to this. Hold up. So you got Larry Fitzgerald, Marvin Harris, Chris Carter, Tim Brown, Antonio Brown, crazy he is. Reggie Wayne, Julio Jones, Isaac Bruce, Michael Irvin, Steve Smith.
You know we forgot low key go crazy? He's underrated. Mike Evans.
Mike Evans is a good receiver, but
not consistent enough.
He's a product of Tom Brady. I'm just
No, he was good before Tom Brady.
Yeah, this is his ninth season in a row over 1,000 yards.
Brady. He was giving you 1,000 yards. He was giving you 1,000 yards before Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm. 9 seasons in a row, 1,000 yards. He's underrated.
I see. That's what made me mad. Everybody always want to give Tom Brady all the credit. Tom Brady can't take credit for every dang thing.
Not
you know
bad.
what I'm saying?
Mike Evans was doing good, but he wasn't
already balling before.
You're right, he was. But they wasn't winning no games. You're right.
That's what it was. He wasn't winning.
They weren't winning no games. You're right. He was balling. They just weren't winning. They weren't winning the game.
Tom Brady, not Jesus. He did not doggone save everybody. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't saying he was. I am not trying to be Skip Bayless this morning. I just simply said that Tom Brady effect is real. That's all. But nobody named Andre Johnson. Andre Johnson, he one of the Miami, wide receiver legends.
What y'all think about Dez?
Dez?
Dez ain't top. No, Dez ain't top. I'm a Cowboys fan. Dez ain't top 10 to me.
Nah, me.
Yeah.
I put Julio way over him. I take Julio way over Dez.
Yeah, Julio dog for sure.
Yeah.
I can't think of nobody else, so I'll probably just go ahead and put T.O. in there because I can't. It's other players I could maybe make an argument for, but when you look at numbers, I have to put T.O.
I could make. I won't because
Chris Carter.
Chris Carter, I definitely was gonna put him in there.
I can make an argument for Chris Carter.
I'm gonna go with Chris Carter because I think Chris Carter, to me, them hands. I'm gonna say Chris Carter over T.O.
I can make a call for Chris Carter, and I can make an argument for the greatest wide receiver ever played the game, and Steve Largent.
Steve Largent, yep.
You went back. You went back.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you another person you could put in there too. Art Monk. Well, you might not go back that far, but Art Monk was a bad boy.
Art Monk and Gary Clark.
Yep, there was
both of them dog.
Art Monk played.
Lance Allworth. Who is Lance Allworth? I have to look at some of these black and white pictures and ask y'all. I don't know nothing about these black and white pictures. Who is Lance Allworth? Lance Allworth.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, okay.
Lance is back there when my daddy was a kid, bro.
Oh, my fault. Don Hudson.
I heard that name before.
I don't know some of these guys.
Hey man. So we had to put Metcalf in there as well, bro. If we talking about dogs.
DK Metcalf? Nah, he ain't no goat.
Eric Metcalf.
Eric Metcalf. I thought you were DK Metcalf. I'm like, no.
I mean, either I would say DJ.
No.
Metcalf that played for the Falcons and the Browns. Yeah.
That
Metcalf.
I mean, I'll put Julio over there over top a lot of them players. But Julio in a top 5. Julio had 5-year season. Stop, man. Guess what I said too. Julio was a straight beast.
Depending on what you look for, because you got him and Antonio Brown. When you go through history, and you look at no. When you go through history, at one point, them two were the top 2 wide receivers.
Yeah, I give it to him. Antonio Brown had the greatest 3 runs in the history of football. Like better than Jerry Rice, better than Michael Irvin, better than T.O. If you look at numbers, nobody has had a better 3-year run than Antonio Brown. If you look at his numbers. I give you that, but
man, just take your emotions out when you think about Antonio Brown, bro. That's all, man.
Yeah,
I'm not. But I'm saying we still got a sample size to make him a GOAT. He's still up there. He could still even go to the Hall of Fame, but he's not a GOAT.
He ain't going to the Hall of Fame. He ain't going to the Hall of Fame.
I ain't gonna say he no GOAT, but I'm gonna say if you talk about receivers that did that thing in a certain type of span, you got to mention Antonio Brown because he, like you said. In that 3-4 year span, he was an animal on the field.
Oh yeah. All I remember is that one night on Monday Night Football when they played us and they played Washington on Monday Night Football, and I've never seen a wide receiver dominate the way he dominated that night. The stuff he was doing that night was crazy. I was like, I didn't even really know who he was at the time.
I don't know,
like
man,
6-7 years ago. I was like,
because how Deshaun Jackson used to dominate the Cowboys and beat them by himself. I don't know, bro.
Yeah, you're right. But Deshaun Jackson will get you on like that one, like he get you on that one deep route. The way Antonio Brown was catching stuff, all kind of stuff. He was deep routes, everything. He was just killing them. Like it was like he was in a training camp, and he was showing like 1-on-1 and wide receiver. That's what he was doing that night. Like, D-Jack players like that, they'll normally get you on them deep routes, over the top route. That's how D-Jack can get you.
Just to go back to the question real quick, Devanta, what do you think about 7-on-7s? Have you been involved in 7-on-7s? What do you feel about 7-on-7s and how they are becoming pretty much more prevalent now in some of these camps? these 7-on-7 competitions are pretty much how they're basing their rankings when it comes to wide receivers and quarterbacks.
Honestly, I feel it's crazy nowadays. Like the generation now just got it so easy,
Yeah,
That's
man. I'm about to get back.
yeah. Like I ain't gonna lie, we ain't had that. Like so, a lot of kids play Sunday, so they can't play level on football.
Yep.
And a lot of these kids just get so big headed, they walk around so cocky playing 7-on-7. You just running around.
Oh, I play 7-on-7.
Yeah, you feel me? Like outside it is like it's not level on football. Like you can't be dancing all day, you ain't gonna get hit. You ain't getting hit 7-on-7. I mean, it's good to get exposure. You get offers out 7-on-7 now, but I just feel like don't get too big headed over it.
I agree. A lot of coaches, a lot of recruiting, they base a lot of what they see in these players on 7-on-7. And like you said, I don't think it's real football. You got a safety coming over the top, getting ready to lay you out. It changes your mindset when you try to catch the pass. We out here in just shorts and a t-shirt, and I'm just trying to get by you. If you ain't got nobody really putting a lick on you, you ain't got the pass on, it's hard to really base just off that. But I know a lot of kids, like you said, that's all they post. They post their 7-on-7 clips.
Yep.
Sending 7-on-7 clip to the recruiter, so I know you be getting them too. So.
Hey, man, and I'm gonna say this about since you mentioned football, man. I was told by a trainer that trains a lot of high school teams. And he told me why he quit. He said because the coaches nowadays now have no discipline. They say the kids can talk all the way over. So like you said, it's different, bro. It's different. Like when I played, man, you kind of knew not to disrespect the coach.
Yeah,
because the coach was somebody that your parents been knowing for a long time. You know what I mean? So they feel like if you got out of pocket with the coach, they feel like, what did you do?
Facts.
You know what I mean? But nowadays, man, these kids say anything got their mouth, boy. Good man.
And in saying that, do you see Devanta now that you done, you've been playing, you play kind of in both eras or been around different eras of football. Do you see the players being more combative doing practice and doing on the sidelines than you did when you first was playing?
These kids talk too much. These kids too emotional. First of all, the kids too emotional. Like you said, back in the day, well, your mom dropped you after practice, she go home, she let the coach deal with you. Because in a way, your coach back in the day, your coach for you was not a father figure to you. So like he was saying, like if you did some wrong practice, what you do? Don't come tell me what you ain't gonna tell me the truth. What did you do? Cause in the day, parents respect coaches in that aspect. Nowadays, it's just like the kids say something, the parents acting out of control, play my son, this and that. Like, man, it's just crazy. It's the parents are like the kids. So I mean.
Is it just the moms or is it the dads too that be tripping? Is it just
both
the moms?
Both of them, Mike. It's both of them.
Oh, okay. I'm just trying to make it clear when he say parents. I'm just trying to make it clear.
The fathers have some common sense as a man to man. He plays sports, but he probably act worse than the mother.
He said that let the woman. He let her talk.
Hey, bro, I seen reports where, it was a report happened in Texas where the dad got killed at a little league game. You know what I mean?
Got
killed.
I
seen that. Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah. Man, that's ridiculous, man.
Ridiculous, man.
No, I'm gonna tell you where it's worse at. I'm gonna tell you what sport is worse at: baseball. I seen when my nephew played baseball, and my nephew now he played for the Detroit Lions now. But when he played baseball as a kid, and I went out there, and we talking about 7, 8 year, 9-year-old kids, and you'd have seen the way them dads was acting. You know what I'm saying, out there on that baseball field? I was like, this is ridiculous. I said, y'all know these kids only like 7, 8 years old. And y'all act like these kids grown men out there the way y'all fussing and arguing and not even with the kids, like the way they going at the umpire and the refs on the
field.
It's
crazy.
This is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So it was just yeah. So yeah, I understand what y'all mean by that, with especially the dads really got emotional over the years. Like,
man,
it's worse. The dads was like, whatever the coach tell you to do, even if you seen your son get snatched off the field because he did something stupid, you know what I'm saying? You ain't going to this coach after the game talking about why you grabbed my kid. You were like, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you did, you probably deserve to get snatched up like that. You know what I'm saying? 9 times out of 10.
And why you think a lot of these kids go to the next level, go to colleges, they don't survive? Because these college coaches ain't going for that.
Nope.
Like you might put off in little leagues and high school. You might to a certain extent, depending on what high school you go to. All high school coaches ain't going for that. You get to college, these college coaches don't play that. Ain't no
Yeah, you see Tom Izzo. You seen that game in the tournament a couple years ago when Tom Izzo got in his player face and they about crucified Tom Izzo. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The reporters and stuff for that. Back in the day, they never do Bobby Knight like that.
I'm telling you, Bobby Knight will go ham.
I'm telling you, at those power fast school colleges, I promise your coaches be snapping. I promise you go outside the program and tell some things you're done. Like I'm telling you, they on next level. The kids ain't doing that next level. You gone, bye. You get replaced. You see the transfer portal? Oh my gosh.
A lot of people don't know, man. 60% of them kids don't even go to another team. A lot of them kids don't even get picked.
They're not. It's so crazy. I feel like a lot of kids are abusing it. How are you going to the transfer portal with no film?
No film. You ain't played?
I don't understand. You're not gonna go nowhere. Like you just do it because it's popular.
So see, you schooling them right now, brother. You schooling them
because that's common sense. I can't have these kids don't be playing, man.
You know, and I ain't even thinking about it from the aspect. I'm thinking about it from the aspect of when they transfer and they ain't played that the school's looking at before they got there, like their high school film. I ain't even thinking about the fact that what you just said.
That was 2 years ago,
and they ain't played in 2 years.
2 years ago,
where they gonna go?
I feel like the transfer portal is a bailout system. You can't suck it up. You don't want to be in heavy competition. You don't want to compete for the position. So I just go to the transfer portal.
Especially the quarterbacks. The quarterbacks, they'll leave so quick. You know what I'm saying? It's like ridiculous.
And I feel like in the aspect, it's pros and cons to it. So I think a pro about it is like, okay, if I transfer to a school, I do 1 year. If I know I should be on the field, I'm good, and I got decent practice film that aspect, I'm good enough, I'm at a big school, why sit for another 2 more years where I could transfer and play at a school I know I could play at automatically? That's a pro to it. That's a player know that he could play somewhere else and he's good and got to get decent practice film. That's good. But you got players out here transferring and got no film and think if I'm going to go to a higher level, no film, you're not going to go nowhere. Like you said, like probably 40-50% of players in the transfer portal ain't going to play nowhere next year.
Nope.
The trick's on you.
And see that, and that's what when people like report on this type of stuff, like ESPN and all these networks, they don't tell people that. See, they don't educate to say, listen, they just want to talk about the positive side of it, or talk about who going where, like a Caleb Williams or who are these players that everybody know where they going. But they don't just talk about the kids. That's what need to be talked about. The kids that they get in these portals and then they end up back home because they can't go nowhere, and then they done already pissed off the school they left. Because now they don't put out, I don't want to be here no more. And the school now, they're like, we don't moved on. You can't come back here. You know what I'm saying? So, you know,
And I got another thing about it, so Chris, because this transfer portal is affecting high school seniors also. Because, you know what it is? Because that COVID year, everybody got an extra year. So that year, I had a little brother play football. He went to Grand Valley. And my little brother bigger than me. My brother like 6'4", 6'5", like 240. He's bigger than me. And like going to his freshman year, those seniors leaving, all that another year come all the way back. And the juniors had another year come back. So for this football graph, a lot of people, everybody ain't built for it. My little brother, he into mechanical engineer. He started playing football. I mean, he about the money. Gotta respect that. But from the high school aspect, like, so check this out. If I'm a coach and I got seniors coming in, if you're not a 4 or 5 star coming to high school, I'm not gonna give you a scholarship because I got all you kids in the transfer portal who can come in right now
and play
games right now. Who I'm gonna choose? I got developed. That's probably a 2-star, 1-star, or I go get JUCO players or somebody in the transfer portal come from Alabama or a nice D2 school. So it hits a big red flag for high school kids. So I feel like that's a big effect on that too.
Yeah, I've talked to, just to echo that, I've talked to a couple of high school kids, man, and they're saying that like they're not getting even the looks because as a coach, I know nutrition wise, training wise, workout wise, this transfer portal player has been in a nutrition program with Alabama for 2 years. Why do I want this freshman from high school that I still got to put in the weight program, still got to teach them how to eat? So yeah, it does. I think it affects. It has to be some type of balance, man. They got to do something. They have to do something to balance that thing out. They can't let it stay the way it is.
They not though, Steve, because the only kids that's getting scholarships now is the 5-star kids, the 4-star kids.
Yeah.
Them kids that was 3-star that could go to Division II or Division III, they're not even getting scholarships because of the transfer portal.
Yeah.
True. Now, one aspect about that too is a lot of JUCOs and HBCUs are now getting kids of quality because of that. So it's a double-edged sword. It really is. Because now a lot of these 3-stars are going to HBCU. A lot of these 2-stars are going to HBCUs, where if they would have went to Alabama and sat on the bench. But now they can't do that because Alabama done brought in 3 transfers. So it has ripple effect on all of the game, negative and positive in some aspects.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I appreciate you coming on this morning, brother. You actually our first guest of the year, so you broke us in right for 2023. You know what I mean? And like I said, you gave us some good information, especially when you start talking about that transfer portal and everything, because I didn't even think about it from the way you started talking about it from.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think a lot of people don't look at it from that. So just tell people where they can follow you at, you know what I mean? And, if they want to get in touch with you as far as, especially on the recruiting side, or if they want to bring you in for a workout or anything of that nature, just tell people where they can follow you.
For Instagram, my business Instagram page is JD Church Academy. You can hit me on that aspect for getting high school kids looking for college opportunities, or you are free agent out there looking for opportunities. Hit me on JD Church Academy on Instagram. My personal Instagram page is called Archie Baby. I know it's a crazy name, I know, right? Archie Baby with ARCHY 4 Y's and Baby BABY with 4 Y's also. I know that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And that aspect. And my Facebook is Devanta Arch in that aspect. You can follow me along in that aspect. This show, I'm going to get brought to camp for the UCFL for the Generals. Got another workout coming out on February 18th. We'll probably work out with some different teams in the NFL aspect and different aspects. Different leagues come to that aspect. So a lot of big things coming up. You can follow me in that aspect to keep you updated in that aspect.
All right,
would you consider the XFL?
Oh, yes, sir. I'm in talks with that, too. So we see how that goes. So, yeah, so.
Okay, brother. I appreciate you coming on. You have a blessed and wonderful day.
Thanks so much.
And God, we'll get in the chat and maybe give our predictions for the day real quick. Yeah. Well, since you on here as a player, we got to ask everybody for moving forward. Real quick, Devanta, what's your Super Bowl picks? Give me 2 teams. Super Bowl.
I got the Vikings and
yeah, Jacob, I'm going with you. That's a tough thing. I ain't saying that ain't possible, but it's a tough one.
But you can't count Brady out, though. Can't count Brady out.
So which one? You gonna have the Vikings or you gonna with Tampa?
You gonna go to Vikings or Tampa?
I'm gonna go Vikings, and I got. It's tough. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know about the other one yet. I don't know yet.
All right. Well, maybe we'll chime back with you. Maybe we have an episode right for the Super Bowl and let people just call this, send us something, give us picks. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. But anyway, y'all have a blessed one. See y'all next week.
See you.
Peace.
Peace.